My name is Tim Stowell, and as Netta mentioned, I am the Dean of Humanities here. I'm supposed to be giving something akin to closing remarks, but Olga's actually after me, and she'll be doing the real closing remarks. So I think I'm giving the remarks of the sort that administrators give when they contribute money to the budget of a conference. They have to make a perfunctory appearance. Now, my own background is in linguistics. I teach in the linguistics department here, and so although I kept on having a battle with the programmers who put me down for half an hour of remarks, and I said, I'm not going to have half an hour's worth of stuff to say, just put me down for 5 minutes. And we eventually compromised on 15 minutes. I have to admit, having sat here this afternoon and listening to some of the interesting talks and discussion, I ended up writing about a page of chicken scratchings of things that I just couldn't resist saying. So I probably will use a chunk of my 15 minutes, but I'll try to make sure I don't stray over the line. One of the things that you learn in a first-year linguistics class, and that probably applies to about half the people here who I imagine have taken linguistics courses of one kind or another. The first lesson that I remember learning in my Linguistics 100 class in Canada was a dictum that was, the native speaker is always right. A variation of which is that the definition of a language is a dialect that has an army. And the basic message that I got in those first linguistics classes was that all dialects are essentially equal from a scientific, analytical point of view, and that what distinguishes dialects from each other, apart from a collection of arbitrary differences in syntax and phonology and the collection of lexical items, is simply the power status of the people who speak those dialects. And I think, although most of the discussion today has been about non-native speakers and foreign accents and so on, the basic message is still the same, and I think it's a correct one. I think if you look at people's reactions to different dialects of English, it's pretty self-evident that power and social class has everything to do with the hierarchy that we attribute to different kinds of accents. I should add that it's not necessarily just economic power. I think we academics are as guilty as anyone else of discriminating on the basis of accents, and we sometimes pick out different accents to discriminate against as opposed to what the general population does. As a thought experiment, I would say bear in mind that there's a huge section of this country that has a very predominant and easily recognizable regional accent or set of regional accents, and that is the U.S. South, that is the southeastern part of the country. This is not any longer an economically deprived region in general. I mean, years of movement of jobs and economic power to the Sun Belt testify to that. It's also not a politically impotent part of the country. In fact, under 20 years of mostly Republican administrations, people who speak with strong Southern accents have been a very prominent part of our political life in this country. But if you think about how many academic conferences you've been to where a large number of the speakers spoke with strong Southern accents, I think it's far less than one might expect from a general segment of the population. And I think part of that is that within our own world of higher education and scholarly discourse, having a strong regional Southern accent is perceived as a disadvantage, and people who come from that part of the country will often try to take it out of their accent and try to assimilate to